Hi everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. Make sure you check out my previous video because it ties into this one, and it's all about likability, relatability, and positioning one's product and services like ICP versus everyone else. And I'm just going to pick on one of these companies, and that is OpenAI, and compare ICP's Caffeine AI with OpenAI. And why am I doing this? Because it's time for us Gen Z to go after the big boys. Everyone in the United States economy, and if you're overseas, you might not know this. And shout out to all the content creators writing ICP videos overseas. But in the United States market, there's a lot of resentment towards big tech because they have been laying off so many people. A matter of fact, in October, corporate layoffs were the highest in over 22 years. 153,000 Americans, yes, US citizens were laid off. So, a lot of folks in the crypto space, especially if you're making content overseas, you might not notice, but my thoughts as someone in sales and marketing is using that built up energy and frustration to punch the TradFi companies in the face and say, hey, this is our ground roots technology. It's called ICP. We don't fire people. It's a co-op of folks, developers working towards enhancing a product, a decentralized infrastructure for everyone without the repercussions of having you being fired. You go in, you can make your smart contract, you can make your Solana node, you can make software on ICP. Fantastic place to be versus all this other crappy organizations who are laying off. Again, October, 153,000 people were laid off, the most in 22 years, which should tell you something. That the FOMO of folks who are being afraid of losing their jobs is great with high uncertainty in the United States. All right, let me stop with that rant, and I'm going to pick a subject matter that's ICP, Caffeine AI versus OpenAI, because now this is Gen Z's time to shine. I'm not Gen Z, but I want to give you guys hope and encouragement. And if you guys aren't familiar with what's going on, uh, the overseas guys who are unfamiliar about what's going on in United States, folks are not hiring Gen Z even from college. So there's a lot of Gen Z folks who are annoyed and frustrated. But I'm telling Gen Z, crypto is you guys' future. So screw the boomers, the folks who bought your homes for $25. You guys own this piece of technology that's coming up as we're seeing. Okay, so let me start my rant on OpenAI versus ICP. And what's funny is I generated this document that I am about to read to you on OpenAI. I could have gone towards a ICP node and ran some type of kernel that used an AI service. I could have done that as an option. Okay, so let's break down of the newly announced Caffeine AI from ICP, Definity Foundation, and how it stacks up against offerings from OpenAI. I'll also highlight both the potential beta errors and the caveats between both. If you want a deeper dive into one particular dimension, whether it's enterprise features, tokenomics, decentralization, I can pull that too for you guys. So let me know in the comment section in the next video on what I want to compare both. Now, I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but again, as someone who has experience in sales and marketing, it's all about positioning ICP with the bigger boys, because if we get that 1% of market share that's going to the FANG stock, overnight ICP is going to be like $50 starting base. All right, so let's talk about ICP. Let me go through my rant. And if you guys go through and listen through my rant towards the entire video, YouTube will like it and it will suggest it to a lot more people so they can have an idea of how to market, how to position ICP. I look at it as Gen Z's way of fighting back against the FANG stocks and the folks that are laying off people all over the world because they don't have to. These companies are making billions and billions of dollars and they're still laying off people. Okay, so what's Caffeine AI? Let me tell you key features. Launched July 15, 2025 by the Definity Foundation on the Internet Computer Protocol blockchain. It's built as a self-writing apps platform. You prompt it in natural language, text or voice to build a full stack application website, deploy it on the blockchain, and continuously evolve it via further prompts. It uses the Internet Computer's fully on-chain compute model, front-end, back-end smart contracts called canisters, all run on the ICP chain rather than relying on centralized cloud services. It uses a specialized programming language called Protocol 2.0 designed for this stack with features such as orthogonal persistence, app state and logic persist seamlessly through updates to help avoid data loss when AI changes code. All right, guys, all that nerdy language is just saying ICP does what it says it was supposed to do in the beginning. All right, clear as day. All right, the platform includes a store-like ecosystem of apps you can clone, adapt, iterate. It's not just building one app, but a library market. That's a really good selling point. So you could build websites, you could create a Solana node if you wanted to. You could do almost everything that I can imaginally think about on a blockchain. Now let's take a look at how it could be better than AI. Because again, when we're marketing to ICP, we're not just doing it to the near, to the whole blockchain space, guys. Again, trying to go after the big money, the bigger guys, so we can get the attention. If ICP is positioned and compared with the FANG stocks, guess what? CNBC is going to start mentioning ICP soon this month because of what I'm doing now. And I don't want to put money on that, but I can certainly guarantee if people follow this model that I am doing, certainly one of the big mega companies are going to say, hey, let's bring on the ICP founder and have him talk to us more about what you're doing, even more and more. That's how the sales and marketing works, because I believe I'm a person that understands the craft of positioning. And if you want to go after the money, you have to go after the money. And that's how you position with the big boys. Okay, so let's talk about how it could be better than OpenAI, or at least offer a differentiator. Here are the advantages where Caffeine has a shot at being better compared to general purpose large language models, tools like OpenAI. Number one, you have end-to-end app creation plus deployment. OpenAI typically provides models and tooling to assist with code generation, chat, but you still need to handle deployment, infra, hosting, and maintainability. Caffeine aims to reduce that barrier of prompt, build, deploy on ICP to production grade app continuously. That is a leap towards no developer needed in certain use cases. You just catch that, guys? Did you just catch that? Yes. All right. For businesses or entrepreneurs who want fast prototyping and dynamic iteration, this could be better. All right. You heard that. This could be better. So if you're a dev, hey, want to look at ICP even more. Second area on how ICP can be better than OpenAI: decentralized, tamper-resistant infrastructure. Again, let me say that: decentralized and tamper-resistant infrastructure. Because it runs on ICP's blockchain cloud stack, apps benefit from decentralized, resilient infrastructure, less vendor lock-in, potentially more sovereign control. The data and logic live in canisters on-chain rather than hidden behind proprietary cloud services, in theory, giving stronger guarantees of persistence and neutrality. What does that mean? It's all secure. That's what that language means. So you don't have to worry about a centralized form being hacked and everything stolen. That's pretty much what that breaks down to. And you have infrastructure where if Amazon cloud is down, oops, you're not completely screwed. All right. The third aspect, specialized language and architecture for AI built apps. I phenomenally love this part. Why? The language of ICP, Motoko language. Okay, guys, I'm a sidetrack here for a second. We don't need a gazillion computer language. My humble opinion. This is not an attack on ICP, but the flavor of the month when it came to JavaScript, there's like 100 different flavors. We need to stop that nonsense and just stick to one language. If it's C++, if it's Java, or JavaScript, but let's stop making these stupid language derivatives. It's just so annoying and hard to maintain as coders. All right. The Motoko language plus orthogonal persistence design aims to handle one of the big risks in autocoding, data loss or app breakage on updates. That's a concrete improvement. Great, fantastic. Because data loss technically is not an issue in most apps if it's really secure with a transaction, but that's good to have. Because this built the stack from ground up for this use case, they may achieve efficiency or user experience advantages in build and iterate by chat. The fourth area is Web3 native features. Because ICP is Web3 native, the apps built with Caffeine could integrate tokenization, decentralized identity, wallet logic more naturally. Now, let's talk about, lastly, where the caveat lies between OpenAI and general stack technology. Of course, better depends on what you need. Some limitations and risks are the following. And of course, guys, better is always a perception. If you watched my earlier video, I talked about, hey, I think Android is a better technology, but I still went with the Apple iPhone. Why is that? Because I like the Apple iPhone. As much stupid that is, especially for a software engineer, I still like the Apple iPhone, even though I thought that the Android was a much better, sophisticated technology. Anyway, let me talk about some limitations and risks. Maturity and ecosystem size. OpenAI has massive adoption, tooling, community integrations. Caffeine is new and will take time to mature, build docs, plug in ecosystem, developer trust. For many standard apps, the traditional stack might still be easier. Then you have feasibility and interoperability. While its specialized language and on-chain deployment offer advantages, they may also constrain you compared to the wide varied stacks, Node.js, Python, serverless that general tool support. The third aspect is performance, cost, and user experience. Running fully on-chain can introduce latency, cost, and unfamiliar operations compared to cloud infra. That's true. For many apps, cloud is still easier, familiar, and performant. Again, this is not an attack on ICP. All I'm just doing is positioning it with the bigger players so we can get more attention and marketing from the bigger guys. Because again, we're going after a $10 trillion market, guys. We're not going after a crypto market that's currently starving for liquidity with Bitcoin at 100K. Guys, people are not interested in crypto. It's time for Gen Z to use your crypto tech to go after the $10 trillion of liquidity that's out there by positioning, and that's market positioning. And that's why I'm really trying to help you, guys who love ICP. If you're going making videos, go after the big boys. All right. We got AI model quality backing. The underlying AI models may not yet match the breadth and depth of mature models from OpenAI in general language understanding and generation. That's true. The domain of app creation versus prompt is narrower though. Adoption risk and market competition. The Web3 developer stack is competitive. Many efforts to automate app creation exist. Then you have vendor lock-in or platform risk that will be a pro for OpenAI because they can handle that, and regulatory and enterprise concerns. Obviously, with decentralized technology, corporations kind of want to get a hold on that data. So for bigger enterprises, trust, support, compliance are key. A new stack might face hurdles before matching the trust of established cloud AI vendors. All right. So how will it be better for you? It all depends. If you want to rapidly build and deploy a web app product from a prompt, use ICP. If your use case lends heavily into decentralization, tokenization, Web3 features, ICP is your guide. If you value sovereignty or infrastructure, ICP Caffeine is your guide. However, if you're doing a standard web app, want to maximum flexibility, integrate many third-party services, want the largest AI model ecosystem today, or need mature enterprise support, OpenAI plus traditional dev stack may still be more pragmatic as of this time. All right. This is a bet that the future is blockchain decentralization, which ICP will automatically win that race and stack even higher amongst OpenAI. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy. Oh, in the comment section, give me thoughts on the next video on what you want me to compare ICP to, or if you have a ranking of some sorts. But it has to be positioned where we're now going after $10 trillion economy versus a stagnant crypto market that has pretty much like been wiped out of liquidity. All right, have a great day. Bye.